systems, and sort of the nuances and the mundaneness of life. So I explore that a lot in my own time. I want to talk to you today about a project that I've obscurely called side view mirrors. I'm not talking about home brewing today, maybe another time. So what I do with this project is just something that sort of grew out of boredom, curiosity, and it's just to take pictures of people in their side view mirrors during my commute to work. They're all taken with just a point and shoot camera. And this is, before I get into it, just some inspiration, some other sort of similar projects. Andrew Bush's 66 Drives is great if you haven't seen it. Brian Collier's Highway Expedition, his classification system, and then Stray Shopping Cart project. Again, look at these if you're not familiar with, they're all great projects. So this is some early work that I did when I started commuting. Just trying to I was really bored with my commute. I'd never driven in a car before I moved to Pittsburgh, so just trying to find some interesting things. What's interesting around me while I'm driving to work? You can see some sort of nascent explorations inside the mirrors. So if you do a quick Flickr search, you sort of see two categories of side view mirror things. Sort of self-portraits, and then explorations of what's going on in the bigger world out behind me. And I really wanted to do something different. I wanted to take this and look at what's going on in the world in front of me, in front of this car, and use the side view mirror as a portal into other people's lives. These are some of the early work that I did in 2006, I think, when I just first had this idea. Just taking a lot of these pictures and seeing what was going on, seeing if this was something that would even be interesting. I took probably about, I don't know, like 10 pictures and then just let it go for a while. And didn't really pick it up. But one of the interesting things that happened was it really changed the way I drove. And so for the designers out there, it was a really interesting example of the goals that you have, the goals that people have really impact and influence how they're going to perceive an interaction or perceive an experience. So I really enjoyed driving. And so this is one of the ones I really like. And there's a lot of pixelation here because it was, again, a point and shoot camera. But this is a police officer. He doesn't seem too happy to be that I'm taking his picture, but he didn't do anything, just kept driving. And so this is what you typically would see is just kind of people kind of staring off into nowhere. Another interesting thing that you'll see in a lot of these is if you don't forget the people's faces, but just start to look at the forms of the rear view mirrors. And it's just a simple shape, but they can come in so many different forms. It's sort of a secondary thing that I picked up when I started looking at all these together. Another thing you see is people touching their face a lot. And it's really a manifestation of frustration or anxiety. And remember, I took most of these pictures at stoplights in rush hour traffic. So it's not really surprising that people were sort of frustrated or anxious.
Are they closer than they appear?
So we have like a 2-for-1 shot here in the upper left. We start to get into object use. So people smoking. And a lot of times people smoking is helpful for me because they roll their window down. And I don't have a polarizing lens, so I don't get the glare and things like that. Another sort of exploration in objects, people on cell phones, the dog we have here. You can see sort of the iPhone buds, or iPod buds in his ear. That really surprised me that he was listening to his headphones while he was driving. So this is just I take a lot of pictures of an individual person. I take as many as I can. And so you see this here, and you can't really see the faces, but it's also, it really makes you a lot more empathetic. You sort of lose your own subjectivity of what am I experiencing while I'm driving, and try to get into these people's heads. Here's an example of waiting, just waiting to see if I can get a shot of this woman. You can kind of see her eye. Just kind of waiting. And sometimes you don't get the shot. Sometimes they just drive away, and you don't really get anything. So it's a lot of just process. Having a camera in the front of your window, sometimes you get looks from these people. And these are all people that sort of made eye contact with me. No one's yet to get out of their car or stop or anything. But you do get some of these representations. presentations. This is another one. I love this one. This is he's got his morning coffee, his morning cigarette. Finally makes eye contact with me, and then he rolls up the window. So, cut off that connection that we had.
How long is your commute?
It's from Mount Lebanon down to the south side. So this is another one I took. I was trying to get a shot of this woman. Actually, it's the closest I ever came to being a stalker accidentally. We were coming out of the parking garage at the same time. The shots down on the bottom are from a couple cars up that I didn't realize I was capturing this guy until I had uploaded all the pictures and was looking at them again.
Are you shooting through the windshield?
Yes. So this is another great example of, on a lot of trucks you have multiple mirrors. And I think it's a good example of how viewing something from different perspectives can really highlight different details or different aspects of the story. And I think, again, that's something as a designer that we need to be thinking about. This one I really love. In the course of one red light and one phone conversation, this guy went through at least 5 or 6 different visible emotions. I only included 3 here, but it was really, I just let all of them. This is, again, this is one of my favorite shots. This is my last shot, so this is the end. This is what got me back into doing it last summer. So this was and I just started up again taking all those pictures.
I'm going to follow